The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
All right, just a reminder, today is 311 Day, even though it was officially Monday, but we have Ticket Blitz Thursday at 8:20 and 9, 311 tickets for the show coming up at the Salt Shed, and then we're going to have Weezer tickets at 8 for Allstate Arena. So pretty big day for free tickets. Now tomorrow, of course, at the St. Patty's Day broadcast at Lizzie McNeil's, let's up that by 1 million is what you get on site. Roker's going to be there too. He's going to be wearing a kilt, he told me.
Is that right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, really?
It's a long kilt.
So a fact that makes your brain just go, 77% of Chicago adults think it should be okay to do this. They want to do this at a restaurant. It's unacceptable. Interesting answers come through here, like burp, fart on the text line, take your shoes off.
Oh, I like taking my shoes off on airplanes. It'd be nice to do that in a restaurant.
Dude.
Oh,
You're that guy?
I like letting the dogs breathe.
Oh.
If I'm on a long flight, I got to kick back at some point.
But I don't want to smell your dogs. That's the problem.
But I'm going to worry about me. It's 2024. Nobody worries about other people.
I paid for this seat. I can do what I want with it.
What am I going to do? Be considerate?
But you're not doing bare feet, though. You have socks on.
No, I have socks on. My father's a sock salesman, so I would never go barefoot. That would be sacrilege.
Your father's a socks salesman?
Yeah.
Sock salesman, not a White Sox salesman.
Door to door?
You know what? If he explains this, we're never going to get to the fact.
Okay,
But,
all right,
but
sorry.
he sells socks.
Okay, all right.
Unless you can do it in 10 seconds.
He doesn't go door to door and say, here's one with a red stripe, here's one with a blue stripe. That's not what he does.
Yeah. You don't see him on the exit ramp at White Sox
He's
Park.
not there.
He's not on the
Bottles
Kennedy
of water
right now.
and socks.
I've always tried to figure out what is the cost ratio that these guys.
Yes. Is he on the L going between the trains while it's running? Is that him? That's your dad?
There's like a child from Ecuador trying to sell Butterfingers, and then it's my dad trying to sell socks.
Yeah, so next time you're on the blue line, say hi to Case's
He
dad.
won't pester you. Just tell him no. He'll move on.
Also, buy some Pacers socks from him so Case can pay rent this month. All right, so the facts. 77% of adults in Chicago think it's okay to do this at a restaurant or want to do this. It's not burping, farting, taking your shoes off. What did you think, Roker?
I think lick your plate.
Lick your plate. Great answer. Not right.
Oh.
No. Why can't you? That really, do you look like a pig when you lick your plate? Is that the problem?
Yes.
Yeah,
But
it's
I mean,
probably.
Isn't it a compliment to the chef?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Do you do the swipe?
I
Do
do.
you take the finger and you swipe the plate and then lick the finger?
Oh, don't do that. That's gross.
That's worse?
That's super gross.
That's how COVID started.
Yeah. They did that in Wuhan. Now we got COVID.
Were they eating bat at the time? Or? This is a good bat.
This bat juice. The bat juice is so good. The bat juice. So it's not that. I think that'd be great. The compliment to the chef. So it's not that. Case, what do you think it is?
I thought it was people that wanted to color because kids color at restaurants. You specified this was adults.
Yes.
And adult coloring books are huge.
Way to listen to me on that one because you're close, but no cigar. Okay, no cigar on that one. What it is 77% of Chicago adults want to do this at a restaurant, but it's socially unacceptable. Order from the kids menu.
Oh, I do that when I carry out.
Do you really?
How are they going to know?
Yeah.
How are they going to know?
Hey, you really got one over on them, I guess.
I like corn dogs.
So you give an evil laugh when you drive away?
That's right.
I got
That's
it. Well, wait, so which corn dogs, like, is there a specific spot where you're going to order off the kids menu?
No, just like, especially if I have like a gift certificate or a gift, I'm dating myself again, gift card.
That's okay.
If I have a gift card,
A paper gift certificate?
and I need, and I've got a bunch of them at the crib, believe me.
I believe you.
But let's say I've got like $6 left, right?
Yep.
You go to the kids menu.
Yeah, because you're not going to, you can't even get like something legitimate anymore for $6 at a fast food
Right,
or anything.
exactly.
You can't
But you can get a grilled cheese.
Yep, not bad. What about you, Case? Anything on the kids menu anywhere that like you go to?
No, I need a full-size meal. I can't skip on the portion control.
Yeah, but like for example, we went to D'Agostino's Pizza and we got Harper a kids, like they have a kids thing, and their grilled cheese is unreal. Like, Megan makes this healthy grain bread.
Oh,
like,
no. It's got to be white bread.
Well, it's not only white, it's like so much cheese. And Harper took a bite of it, and her eyes opened up. And I bet she would say if she could talk, this is what grilled cheese is? Holy crap, bring it on. Mom, you suck. And she ate the fries, too, and everything. Like, it was a adult-size meal. But you don't go to D'Agostino's for grilled cheeses. You know, you go there for pizza.
Right.
Which I had this morning for breakfast. Leftover D'Agostino's pizza.
A lot of plugs for D'Agostino's this morning.
God, I wish they'd sponsor us. He's so nice.
You just call this guy named Jeff Hill, and you say you want to sponsor Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Yeah, you work for D'Agostino. Send us a text. I will give you all the info you need. I could make this happen.
Some of the places with the best kids menu, the Cheesecake Factory allegedly has one of the best in the business. Now, their menu is 80
menu's
pages.
already War and Peace. How big is the kids menu? Isn't just the whole Cheesecake Factory menu a kids menu, basically?
That's true. But they have a mini hot fudge sundae instead of the regular size hot fudge sundae. You're right. The whole thing is a kids menu. Texas Roadhouse allegedly has a really good kids menu on there.
They do. I've gotten stuff from Texas Roadhouse from the kids menu.
Well, if you had that gift certificate.
That's right. The gift certificate.
For $10. They're called Ranger meals.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And they have like Andy's steak, like a hand-cut sirloin, a Ranger rib basket, fall off the bone ribs. This is for kids. Fall off the bone ribs. Wow. Chili's has a great kids menu. They have little sliders for the kids, as opposed to a full-size burger. And they have cheesy chicken pasta.
That sounds awesome.
It's just like mac and cheese, I guess, but it's cheesy chicken pasta. It's some chicken chunks. Olive Garden has a good kids menu. It's still the 5-cheese marinara with a choice of pasta for $6.99 for the kids. That's pretty good.
That's a good deal. You still get the breadsticks and the salad, too?
Yeah, I guess, because they can't. I'd like to see a kid. You ever see a kid eat a breadstick? Like a little baby?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Not a salad, but breadstick.
There's not an age limit on breadsticks. You don't have to be 13 to eat a breadstick.
I don't know. I just think it'd be funny to see a baby with a breadstick in his mouth.
Harper would love one.
You look like Groucho.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
So I failed to mention we have Alkaline Trio tickets coming up here in Clash with Kenzie in 10 minutes. Al Roker Jr. filling in. So he'll be, boy, he takes it so serious, the trivia. You know, he doesn't play around. It's not fun. It's not fun with Roker. It's just about winning.
It's nerve-wracking, though.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. It's nerve-wracking.
Well,
I have no idea what you're going to ask me.
Right.
And, it's a lot easier if, like, maybe you were to give me a category or something like that, right?
Yeah, well,
but it could be anything.
Yeah. Well, you're almost like undefeated with questions. You've like hit everything so right because you're so sharp on wanting to not fail.
I've been lucky.
Don't sell yourself short.
So we got Alkaline Trio tickets. We have coming up in that. Weezer tickets at 8, 311, Ticket Blitz Thursday, 8:20 and 9. And all that stuff. Remember, tomorrow at this time we'll be at Lizzie McNeil's St. Patty's Day broadcast, and Roker will be on hand for that as well. But we have like unbelievable amount of A-level tickets like Noah Kahn, Dave Matthews Band, Bert Kreischer,
Casey Elephant, Dave Matthews Band, Bridget Calls Me Baby, Creed, Limp Bizkit, LCD Sound System.
I said Dave Matthews. Said it twice now.
I apologize. Sorry, sir.
I have a quick story before we get to sports about Dave Matthews.
Okay. All right, let's do that now.
I almost killed him.
Okay. Oh, really? Buried the lead there, huh?
So he was in Q101 back in the old Merchandise Mart days. He was out in the hallway, and there was a bunch of his people around. He was just on the air, and I was in a studio and producing something, and the computer crashed, and I lost everything. We've all been there, right? When you work somewhere, and then the engineer comes in and said, "Well, you should have done the Fliggle-Flago with that move, and Control-C, and saved it." I don't care. I lost everything, and I was pissed. And our doors here at Q101 are very thick, heavy metal doors to be soundproof. So I'm walking out of the little studio, and I kick the door open. It swings at about 80 miles an hour and misses Dave Matthews by an inch, his head.
Oh.
And everybody there that was his little hanger-on people just were shocked and looked at me with the eyes wide open, going, "Ugh." He just sat there, didn't move, didn't flinch, and looked over at me and he goes, "You all right, bro?" And I go, "Oh, my God, I'm sorry, Dave Matthews."
Of the Dave Matthews Band.
Of the
I'm
Dave
so
Matthews
sorry.
Band. This was pre-poop in the river, by the way.
I was just going to say.
This was before the poo-poo bus.
Okay.
Yeah.
That turns 20 years old this year. We'll have to do a 20th anniversary retrospective on that.
The poo-poo bus is 20 years old?
It's 20 years old this year.
Seems like yesterday.
when I almost killed him and the poo-poo bus. Both those things.
Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, before we get to what the White Sox did yesterday, how about what the Bulls did yesterday? DeMar DeRozan dropped 46 points, including the go-ahead three-pointer in overtime. But how about just before we got to overtime, here's what happened to tie the game when the clock went to 0.
Caruso to inbound. DeRozan to tie it!
Oh! The marvelous DeRozan!
Does it again!
Oh, God.
What did Stacey King say there?
DeMarvelous DeRozan.
Okay. It sounded like he was speaking like Latin or something.
Let's hear it again.
The marvelous DeRozan!
He's been sitting on that one all year.
Yeah, he's been waiting for it. It was amazing. Kobe White did leave the game, sadly, with an injury. We don't know where the status of that is yet, so hopefully it's not too bad because he's the bright, shining spot of the team. I mean, DeMar DeRozan, obviously, in this game was, but with Kobe White's advancement of his level of play this year, it makes you want to trade everybody and just keep him and start over.
Yeah, I have like $5 on him to win comeback player of the year.
Kobe White?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that bet.
What's it going to pay out?
$6.50, something like that.
All right.
The problem is I have money on the Pacers over 41.5 wins, so last night really hurt me. I love my Bulls, but
What are they at? 40,
I think
probably
they're at,
30.
I think they're at 36 wins, but
Yeah.
season's coming to an end here. They got to get some W's.
Yeah, great game. It was an awesome game. It was fun to watch. But what's not so fun for White Sox fans is they've traded Dylan Cease to the Padres. This will be for, well, as we all know, sometimes you never hear about these prospects ever again. The top 10 prospects the Padres have allegedly got the top 3 pitching prospects for the Padres. And you might be sitting there as a casual fan and say, didn't we have a good pitcher in Dylan Cease? Why do we need a prospect? Well, this is obviously when teams do this, it's a signal that they know that they're not in contention at all, and they want to try to use their best asset before he gets bad or has a worse season to get as much prospects for the future 5 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever. It's not a good sign if you like the White Sox.
It seems like you're all in on this trade, though. By the tone of your voice, it seems like maybe you liked it.
I don't. I'm a Cubs fan, so it doesn't affect me emotionally.
Oh, that's nice.
But
that must be really nice.
But I do feel for my White Sox brethren after last season, especially the Vanilla Ice game, his performance getting canceled after the fat roll gun incident.
Yes, indeed. I'm very sad.
Roker really texted me. He was really upset about that. No, I'm just saying so people can understand why you would trade if they're not.
It makes sense. I mean, with Dylan Cease, you lost 100 games last year. Right? So
why have him pitch more, another 100 and whatever games? He's going to not pitch 100 games, but he's going to pitch whatever he pitches, and then wear him out more when he's not good to trade him and get nothing. But these prospects also could be nothing.
Yeah, because God forbid we try, Brian. It's not even opening day.
In case the White Sox fan in the room, as you can tell.
It's not even opening day.
And they're waving the white flag already.
He pulled his pants down, shown us his ass, and given us the finger.
That's Reinsdorf you're saying.
Yes, exactly. No, Dylan Cease is not. I have not seen his ass.
He might do that on the way out the door.
We would deserve it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely humiliating to not wait. Give it until May. Give it until June. Obviously, he'd be available at the trade deadline because, let's be real, the White Sox aren't going to do anything this year.
Yeah.
But this admission of guilt almost halfway through spring training to go, you know what? Let's get him next year. It's humiliating as a White Sox fan, and worse off, they traded him to the Padres, and it's not exactly a Red Sox-Yankees-like rivalry. But we also, White Sox fans, we all have PTSD because the last time we made a trade with the Padres.
We're going back in history on this one?
We have to go back in history. You know, in 2016, Jerry Reinsdorf was like, guys, I have an idea. What if we trade our top prospects for a washed-up pitcher that will be so bad that he has to retire from baseball altogether once he gets to the White Sox?
In his 20s.
In his 30s at the very least.
He was in his 30s?
I think James Shields was in his 30s at that time. But the point is, they traded Fernando Tatis Jr., who has become one of the best players in all of baseball, to the Padres, and they got James Shields in return, and James Shields as a White Sox player was historically bad.
James Panty Shields, as I used to call him.
Oh, love that.
Just a different level of awful, and much like how I think a lot of Bears fans, a lot of hardcore Bears fans like yourself, Brian, you guys have a quarterback situation now where it's like, well, if we trade Justin Fields, he's going to be great. If we trade the pick, Caleb Williams is going to go somewhere and be great. And they're not going to be great on the Bears, though. Dylan Cease is going to win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, he's a runner-up 2 years ago.
That's right. And then he took a step back last year. But this is going to work out great for the Padres. And with all due respect to Drew Thorpe and the other prospects they got, Samuel Zavala being another one, I guarantee this is the last time on this show we'll ever say the name Drew Thorpe.
Yeah,
I think sucks.
so.
I hate it.
But had they kept Dylan Cease until the trade deadline, right, he would have torn his rotator cuff.
That's exactly right, Chicago. He's right.
But that's fine.
No, it's not fine. Then you would have gotten nothing for him. He would have been untradeable.
Get him, Roker. Get him. Get him.
It's
Go.
a good thing.
No, sometimes you're in a dead relationship and you hate the person you're with, but it's nice to go to bed next to a warm body. And that was our relationship with Dylan Cease.
I don't know if you're stating your case.
It's nice to play pretend. And with Dylan Cease on the roster, at least we had a shot. Not anymore.
Well, I think I'm siding with Roker on this one. I think I am. Also, James Shields, 42 years old now. So in 2016, when they
mid-30s.
Yeah, he was actually way older than I thought he was.
Yeah,
I thought he was like 29 back then.
His 3 years with the Chicago White Sox. So for those that don't know, ERA in baseball, earned run average. A good one is like 3.3. Anything under 3 is excellent. The 3 years James Shields spent with the Chicago White Sox, ERAs of 6.77, 5.23, and 4.53.
Oh, I thought there was going to be a 10 in there.
Well, a 6 is halfway there.
I understand. Well, Case is really upset.
I just broke a microphone.
Well, you know what? They'll still have fried pickles. So just calm down.
Thank God.
Yeah, there you go. And speaking of that, the items have been announced, the promo items for Cubs and Sox for this upcoming year, which are always fun. White Sox always do better with that. They always do better with the promo items. I'm a Cubs fan.
Well, they kind of need to have the promo items to get people
Cubs
in the
fans
ballpark.
Always give the White Sox that. I'm like, oh, at least you guys have like a good soccer jersey. I want a good team.
Well, you can have a Coke Zero Sugar Family Sunday where children under 13 can run the bases after the game. That's the April 14th game for the White Sox.
Okay, let me write that down. I'll go to that.
I mean, you have to find a kid to get out there with. You'll go to the grade schools and find somebody to get on the field with. You'll pick them up. Hey, kid, you want to go to the White Sox game?
But wait, what was the other thing there before the kids run the bases?
Well, it's Coke Zero Sugar Family Sundays.
Okay.
That's going to be every Sunday, which I'm a Coke Zero fan. I'm addicted.
I thought they were giving us Coke Zero.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some kind of giveaway there, too, by that point, because by April 14th, they'll be done for the year.
That wasn't nice.
May 10th, celebrate Harry Potter night. The first 2,000 fans receive a co-branded scarf. Now, I'm sure, like, Guaranteed Rate's going to be all over it, or, Chase Bank. Something like that.
I don't want a scarf.
Okay.
I want a pitcher.
I'm trying to find something good. I'm trying to find.
He's salty.
How about this? All fans on May 28th game receive concessions for 5 for 5 Tuesdays. So that includes draft beers and hot dogs.
Yeah, but I'm busy on Tuesdays.
I
can't go to that.
You also don't drink beer.
That's right. I do eat hot dogs, though. I drink hot dogs the way I consume them.
Okay, June 29th. First 20,000 fans get a Southside basketball jersey. I don't exactly know what that means, a Southside basketball.
The Sox are doing a basketball jersey, a hockey jersey, and a football jersey, but they're going to be White Sox.
Yeah. They have the football jersey on August 24th, that game.
And if it's Southside, it's going to have that Southside logo on it, the local team logo, instead of the White Sox logo.
Yeah, like I went to the Bulls game and got that Debo jersey, that themed for the Bulls, jersey, and I brought it home, and Megan said, why'd they do a jersey themed about the movie Friday? I said, because they called DeMar DeRozan Debo, so that's where we're at, Megan.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
About 120 seconds away from Weezer tickets at the Allstate Arena. Special guests Flaming Lips and Dinosaur Jr. That's a great bill, and Weezer will be playing the entire Blue album. It seems to be the great trend now with these great albums that are 20 years old, 30 years old, 15 years old, just playing these album plays and they'll play other music too. So those tickets coming up here momentarily. We were talking about, as I found out that Case, the producer, had private swim lessons as a kid. Private ones.
What bothers you about that?
Because...
And by the way, I'm not defending it. I just want to know what bothers you about that.
It's so unnecessary. I was thrown in a pool with like 10 kids at the Jewish Community Center and said, try to swim. And I still can't dive to this day, but my parents didn't pay anything extra. It was free as part of the admission to the Jewish Community Center. And that's
You
why.
were a member of the Jewish Community Center?
Yeah, I'm not Jewish, but that was the best place where we grew up around there. The big pool, and they had a basketball court, and my parents would drop us off in the morning and go, have at it, we'll pick you up at 5 in the summer. And so I played basketball, I swam, and then I came home. And it was almost free because we didn't have a lot of money.
It seems like parenting used to be so easy. You would just take your kids somewhere else and say, we'll be back later.
Yes.
That feels like it was parenting up until about 20 years ago.
Oh, damn kids, are they too soft?
Private swim lessons.
I don't want to be that guy because it's nice to have it soft, actually. I wish I was a kid today. It'd be great. So anyway, a lot of people checking in with some of these things like Lee in Gurnee, things about her that we'd be surprised to find out. I have an irrational fear of Bigfoot that my family tried to terrorize me with at any chance they get. So she thinks like Bigfoot, she's very scared, and I guess I don't know what they did, but they just said Bigfoot's outside. Something like that.
And they probably taunted her with like Jack Link's beef jerky because they run the Bigfoot commercials.
That stuff's good, though.
Oh, my God, yes.
It's really good. Kelly says, I'm a 61-year-old woman, and check out what she can do. You ready for this?
I don't know if I am.
She can sit in a tree, shoot a deer, field dress it, and load it in the truck. Booyah, she says at the end.
Wisconsin girl.
The area code is 219 Indiana.
Oh, Indiana.
There we go.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Sarah checked in. I thought Rome was a country until I was about 30. It used to be the world's largest empire. How is it just a city now?
I'm with her there 100%. The history of Rome baffles me. I don't understand any of it.
It's been fascinated on the TikTok lately, people talking about the
Roman Empire.
The Roman Empire.
Yeah. But her point is right, because it would be like if Jacksonville was the world dominant superpower for a little bit. You would go, well, clearly it's the United States of Jacksonville. No, it's just a place.
Huh. Now, she didn't find this out till 30 years old. I don't know how old she is when the internet came into play, but it's 7:08, Sarah checking in there. You know where Rome is, Roker?
Rome is in Italy.
Thank you. Good job.
Yeah.
It's not a trivia question. That's one of Tomorrow's trivia questions.
Everybody's a know-it-all. I got it.
I went to Italy for my honeymoon with my wife. It was delayed because we got married in the pandemic. I'd never been to Italy. It was if you ever got a chance to go. It's all you can expect to. But we got by the Coliseum, and I kept quoting Gladiator, and I ruined the whole trip.
Oh,
So, like-
that had to get old quick. Are you not entertained?
Yeah.
No, not really.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So Ticket Blitz Thursday, 311. So if you were listening, we gave out a key word to text in for a chance at those 311 tickets for Neon Trees and Salt Shed. We'll give you that word again after we get through head-to-head lines. So stay here if you missed it. Want to get you in that 311 show. So head-to-head lines. We give you 2 headlines. Based on the headline alone, you choose what content we talk about, which story we're going to chop up. We'll never talk about the other story again. So choose wisely. Headline number 1. Montana man pleads guilty to creating massive Franken sheep with cloned animal parts. That's headline number 1. Headline number 2 was New Orleans police chief says rats are munching on marijuana evidence. Quote, they're all high. Now, that one's a funny headline, and people made a good point on that because one won by a landslide saying, doesn't the headline just tell you everything that happened? And that's true, but also there's some information there when I was perusing it that really should get out there on how this happened and the description of what happened to the rats when they got high.
The backstory.
Yeah, the backstory. Roker's been to New Orleans a ton of times, said he's never seen a high rat.
I haven't seen a rat, period.
Really?
Yeah, and there's food and, well, there's vomit all on the street and everything, so maybe, well, the rats would eat the vomit, wouldn't they?
I don't know. Maybe vomit is a
Repellent?
repellent like kryptonite to rats.
Yeah, it sounds like a lovely town. Food and vomit.
No,
Awesome.
yeah,
Great.
it's wonderful.
Well,
yeah.
we're number 1 with rats, so we should throw up everywhere. Let's not do that. But headline number 1, you chose it, and Case found this headline, so we're going to get into it right now at 312-591-8300. You chose headline number 1. Here we go. Montana man pleads guilty to creating massive Franken sheep with cloned parts. Montana's kind of weird because we really don't know what's going on in there. I've been to Montana once. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I recommend everybody try to make a trip. Also, I don't think they know what the rest of the world is doing in there, and they don't care. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's the equivalent to like our North Korea where they're just totally closed off?
Well, I think they're closed off a lot of people by choice, and they don't want to participate in what's going on in America, and that's fine. They're in their little area that's beautiful. It's so beautiful there.
It's super expensive though.
I guess because that's also a way to price out jamokes from coming in there and ruining it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's become like the rich guy place.
Like the first guy to bring TikTok in there on his phone.
Yeah, and there's more people in Chicago, I think, than in the entire state of Montana.
I think you're right. Roker's full of knowledge.
Yeah, he's a smart guy.
He doesn't understand this story yet, so we're going to get into it.
No, I don't.
Montana man pleads guilty to creating massive Franken sheep with cloned parts. An 80-year-old man living in Montana pleaded guilty Tuesday to 2 felony wildlife crimes involving his plan to let paying customers hunt sheep on private ranches. See, right there, that means he doesn't care about any laws.
Right, look, he's 80. He doesn't give a damn.
And also, shoot guns on my property all you want. But these weren't any old sheep, the story goes. They were massive hybrid sheep created illegally by importing animal parts from Central Asia, cloning the sheep, and then breeding an enormous hybrid species of sheep.
So he was cloning these sheep so that he could have people pay to come in and shoot them.
Yeah. I guess for easier shots because they're big.
Brian, read that passage one more time. I want to make sure I can at least try to understand this.
Okay. These were, quote, massive hybrid sheep created by illegally importing animal parts from Central Asia, cloning the sheep, and then breeding an enormous hybrid species.
You almost have to go line by line there. First of all, he has hybrid sheep. Didn't know that existed.
And, yeah, that's what he did. He's the only guy that we know that did that.
He is an importer of animal parts from Central Asia.
You don't have one?
I don't. Sorry, I guess I'm a loser.
God, you're not connected. Yeah, you are a loser.
And then he cloned them.
Yeah, which seems like something needs to be done in a lab somewhere, not on a ranch in Montana.
I'm sure this man has a lab.
Well, let's get more into the story. Maybe explains it. Arthur, quote, Jack Sherbath.
Of course. His friends call him Arthur Jack in quotes.
That doesn't make sense. Like,
Where does Jack come from? From Arthur.
Yeah. It's Montana
He probably just calls everybody Jack.
Yeah. So he's 80. He owns and operates a 215-acre, quote, alternative livestock ranch in Vaughan, Montana, where he started this operation in 2013. He's doing this for 11 years.
He's a veteran now.
According to a press release from the Department of Justice. So alternative livestock includes hybrids of mountain sheep, mountain goats, and other large mammals, which are often used for trophy hunting by wealthy people. So we're uncovering something that the three of us don't know anything about, I think.
We're so poor that we don't know about this.
Yeah, there's a whole nother world there.
What was that movie with Ice-T, The Game, where they hunted, they took him from where he was and said, hey, we're going to come and give you this wealthy lifestyle, and he went out in the woods, and then they hunted him?
I've got to check that one out.
It's not Michael Douglas's The Game.
No, the movie is Surviving the Game.
Yeah.
It is Ice-T and
Rutger Hauer's in it.
Rutger Hauer and Gary Busey.
Oh, well, I'm there. That's all you had to say. Yeah.
And the synopsis of this movie is, quote, a homeless man is hired as a survival guide for a group of wealthy businessmen on a hunting trip in the mountains, unaware that they are killers who hunt humans for sport, and that he is their new prey.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, a little racial element to it. I mean, wow. It's kind of like a continuation would be the movie Get Out by Peele.
Yeah.
It's kind of that thing a little bit.
I'm guessing Busey was probably the first one to sign up for that one.
Oh, it's a documentary about his life.
Yeah. But this reminds me of that a little bit, in a way. Except it's with these sheep and these people that they basically make these weird animals that people can come and hunt in Montana.
This is like what the Jimmy John's owner does for fun. He's a big game hunter.
But I think he goes like to Africa and does it. Like I don't think he's doing these clones.
Right. It's not like he's going and hunting cloned.
If he's not doing it, then who is? He's the owner of Jimmy John's. He's loaded.
I know, but people that we don't even know, these loaded people that are under the radar.
Oh, man.
He's got to make the East Coast Italian subs. Which are fantastic, by the way. They're unbelievable. So let's get more into this story. He had an unnamed accomplice. They kicked off this decade-long scheme, illegally bringing biological tissue from a Marco Polo sheep. I wish we had an animal expert that could call up and help us with this a little bit at 312-591-8300. Maybe there's a hunter out there. I don't know. The largest sheep in the world is the Marco Polo sheep. So they got those biological tissue in. It's from, I don't think I'm saying this wrong. I apologize for people from this country. Kyrgyzstan? Kyrgyzstan?
Not Kazakhstan, because that's where Borat's from.
Yeah, not Kazakhstan. They started bringing these in 2013. How big are the sheep? The average male can weigh over 300 pounds with horns over 5 feet. So it gives them the largest sheep horns on the planet. And they're endangered and protected by treaties between the U.S. and they're not supposed to be here. They're in Asia. They're fine, but they're not supposed to be here. So that's how that started.
Yeah, he found out about it on TikTok. Yeah. See, that's the problem.
So he smuggled the sheep parts in. He sent them to an unnamed lab, which created 165 cloned embryos.
Balco.
Yeah. The Balco, of course, where all the steroid scandal happened.
There's a great documentary on Netflix about the Balco Labs. You could go watch that.
Who was the guy for the 49ers, the linebacker that...
Romanowski.
He's evil. I mean, he's a great guy, but I mean, just what he got...
He was taking human growth hormones. Hormones? Hormones.
He was the face of the Balco trials, even though there was a lot of other people involved.
Right.
Okay, let's kind of sidetrack in sports here because we're talking about 300-pound sheep with 5-foot horns. So he implanted the embryos in the ewes, E-W-E-S, that the baby sheep?
Yeah, well, that would be the female.
The female.
Yeah.
They called it. Is that
A female sheep is a ewe.
Okay.
Sheep expert Al Roker Jr.
No, when I text my wife, I love you, I text her, I love and the little sheep. That's our little thing that we do.
We're learning a lot.
U-W-E, you.
That's cute as hell.
Yeah. I love sheep is what it says, but it's I love you. She gets it.
That is cute as hell. So he implanted the embryos on his ranch.
Something you didn't know about.
I did. I'm learning a lot. So what he did that, it resulted in a single pure genetic male Marco Polo Argali that he named Montana Mountain King, or MMK.
God, I don't even know what to say.
This is bizarre.
And then that sheep apparently impregnated other ones, the female sheep that created these hybrid monster sheep that are 300 pounds with 5-foot horns, which this is the end of the world, by the way.
Yeah, no, this makes sense. That's the alpha sheep. That sheep wears like tap-out shirts and affliction t-shirts. And is the king of the farm.
Yeah, and he became that. Like, people, he knew about it. So basically, he forged veterinarian inspection certificates so he could do this in veterinarians, apparently, they do checks on people. The breeders, they go out there and do that. They check your farm. So there you go. So he sent 15 of the sheep out to be inseminated into Minnesota. That's where the lab was in Minnesota. Not far away from here.
Crossing state lines there.
Yeah,
there's a sheep trafficking scandal now.
With ewes. Or at least the stuff that was going to go in a ewe. Something like that. Anyway, this went on and on. So that's what he did. Then he brought these animals. He had these animals grown on his farm, and then wealthy people somehow found out about it. I don't know how they found out about it. It doesn't really say in the story how these rich people came in to shoot these big sheep, but it's mean.
I do not like it.
Now we have to find a picture of these mutant sheep.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Is that a stock photo of something there on the story case that looks like some sheep?
I believe it's a stock photo because it's like a skull and crossbones. It almost looks like it's from Looney Tunes.
Yeah, this is absolutely how the world ends when these sheep finally kill him. Well, he's going to jail anyway. It says he's going 5 years in jail and a fine of $250,000. We'll follow up the story as we always do and head to headlines, but that's where he's going. So who's minding these big sheep if he's in jail?
Right.
His 80-year-old wife? I don't think so.
By the way, don't get arrested in Montana, apparently. They're putting 80-year-olds in jail for 5 years.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Did you miss the word for Q101's Ticket Blitz Thursday for 311 right before that wonderful song? If you did, stay here. We'll play one more song. We'll play the Goo Goo Dolls here in a second. And after that, we will give you the word one more time to get to 311, AWOL Nation, Neon Trees, The Salt Shed. But first, missed one very important piece of information in sports that came out just moments ago from the Pittsburgh Penguins, our hockey people out there. You don't have to be a hockey person to appreciate this. This is what they tweeted out just about 58 minutes ago. The Pittsburgh Penguins announced today that a shipment carrying the Yager bobbleheads for tonight's game has been stolen en route to Pittsburgh. The Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads must be Jaromir Jagr night, I assume, or like
you would think so.
Well, we just talked about the Cubs and Sox and specific nights they have going on for their promo nights. That was theirs to have. It just seems when's the last time Jaromir Jagr played? He retired quite some time ago.
I know, but they're probably bringing his family and friends in, and they wanted to honor him with a bobblehead, which, no joke, receiving a bobblehead of yourself is probably the greatest honor a man can receive. It's like between that and Purple Hearts.
I guess.
So I'd be devastated if I found out my bobblehead was stolen.
So he played a long time. I think his last game, let's see. Actually, he's still playing overseas right now.
Oh, my God. Well, hockey players are insane.
Well, at least on December 23rd, or December last year, he was still playing. It's his 36th professional season, and it's in Kladno, his home country, his hometown team. So, wow. Holy cow. They're just built different, being the Czech guys and just hockey players in general.
Have you ever had a bobblehead made of yourself?
No.
Oh, man.
Why, you did?
No.
It sounds like you had.
I worked so hard so that one day a bobblehead will be made of me.
Yeah, so I just think it's funny and also sad that someone stole, basically, it sounds like they stole a truck.
Yeah.
It was a shipment of Jaromir Jagr bobbleheads. Now they say as a result, the bobbleheads will not be distributed at tonight's game, but will be distributed at a later date.
Do you think the people that stole the truck thought it was full of PlayStation 5s and, plasma screen TVs, and they're so bummed it's a Pittsburgh Penguins bobblehead?
It can't be worth that much money, but then again...
I don't know. Some of those White Sox bobbleheads, the resale market on those, a day or two after the game is crazy.
Well, I know in Pittsburgh they definitely want them.
Yeah, and think about it now. It's the forbidden bobblehead.
Right.
It's like Adam and Eve.
Well, they say this, too. All fans in attendance at tonight's game will receive a voucher that includes a one-time scannable barcode that will be required to pick up the bobblehead at a later date.
Yeah.
Location and dates for pickup will be shared when the items are safely located or new bobbleheads are produced and available.
Think about that. That could be your greatest flex, is owning a bobblehead that never hit market.
Also, imagine working for the Pittsburgh Penguins and this is your morning.
Imagine working for the FBI and this is your morning. Somebody has to find that truck.
Trying to figure it out. I was just going to go in and maybe go to lunch by 11. No, I got to find stolen bobbleheads that were on our way to the game tonight and print out a bunch of vouchers. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Sorry, guys.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.